Joe Lieberman. Joe Lieberman's a former lawmaker from the state of Connecticut. Recently, he made headlines after he went after Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and argued that she is not the future of the Democratic Party. Well, he's in the news today because it appears that he has been hired as a lobbyist for ZTE. That is a Chinese telecommunications company. He argues that he's not in fact a lobbyist, even though he was hired as a lobbyist. He wants to try to work out differences that ZTE has with the United States, especially when it comes to national security concerns. These are concerns that he actually held back in 2010. Now in November, former Connecticut Senator Joe Lieberman registered as a lobbyist for ZTE. Again, this is a Chinese telecommunications company, and it has close ties to the Chinese government. And so the company hired Lieberman to conduct, quote, independent national security assessments of its products. And that's according to what this former senator told Politico. So what's the issue here? Well, again, Lieberman had signed a letter that Congress put out back in 2010. And the letter was in reference to ZTE and national security concerns. Lieberman signed that letter saying that ZTE and other Chinese telecom companies like Huawei could threaten American national security. Here's the actual text from that letter. We are very concerned that these companies are being financed by the Chinese government and are potentially subject to significant influence by the Chinese military, which may create an opportunity for manipulation of switches, routers, or software embedded in American telecommunications networks so that communications can be disrupted, intercepted, tampered with, or purposely misrouted. By the way, ZTE was in a little bit of trouble earlier because they went ahead and did business with Iran, even though we had imposed sanctions on Iran. So Congress was going to essentially penalize them for it. And then Trump got involved and said, no, let's make a deal here. This was in the middle of trade negotiations with China. And so ZTE paid a fine, and then that was that. Now, here's what Joe Lieberman says: because I have demonstrated that I share their concerns, ZTE believes my inquiry can engender candid and constructive dialogue that could lead to effective solutions. He also says there's obviously still concerns about the safety of their products or the extent to which their products could be used to compromise American security in any way or even individual security. ZTE has decided to really try to get ahead of those concerns and be in a position to answer them.
Joe Lieberman, a lobbyist, I love that.
It's true, yeah, I mean, this is a great way to get a paycheck. Like if you're Joe Lieberman, this is a fantastic way to get a paycheck. Not only that, but it is a perfect way to discredit your earlier comments against AOC saying, this is not the future of the Democratic Party, when what you are doing is really fully embodying every gripe people have with corporate Democrats.
Exactly.
Yeah, I tell you what, you are the past of the Democratic Party. There's no question about that. Actually, you're not, because you left the Democratic Party because you didn't want to, after losing to Ned Lamont. After your failed presidential campaign, after you told Al Gore to concede when he should have stayed until the end and might have won the whole thing, and in fact won a legitimate recount of Florida. Everything I said about Tulsi Gabbard goes quadruple for Joe Lieberman.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right, voted more often with Republicans than Democrats when it came to matters of foreign policy, or at least that's what he literally said about himself.
Yeah, I mean, he's, look, I mean, this is, he has been he served as a perfect, not foil, but he served as he provided cover for George Bush and Dick Cheney for 8 years. He deserves to hold his head and shame and be unemployed for that for the remainder of his career. Joe Lieberman disrespected his own party. Joe Lieberman disrespected open democracy. And I got no interest in anything he does. And I would vote for Tulsi Gabbard before Joe Lieberman in a heartbeat.
2 easy ways to follow the Young Turks. One is hit the subscribe button down below. Then you're a TYT subscriber. And second is ring the bell. And when you do that on YouTube, you're notified of our videos.